major scale because Lydian always starts on the 4.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Now, generally, we're making kind of like a little math problem that you're probably not. I mean, it's good to kind of know this stuff, but when you play, you're in a chord, and you're playing over that chord. It doesn't matter what key it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be there.
Yeah.
You're going to be in A flat Lydian. You're going to be in 1, 2,
Yeah.
3 sharp 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. In other words, you're going to live in this sound, right?
Yeah.
Not that sound.
But I still have to know the note function against the original key
Yeah, but
to know which.
yeah, but we're kind of getting
Mode
into a
we in.
place here. This is where I start to part company with a lot of theory nerds.
Okay.
That yeah, it's cool to know, but in terms of what are you actually going to use in the field?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you're going to be thinking if all right, I've got this sound, and that's functioning as 4. Oh, that's A flat, major 7, sharp 11. I know I use Lydian over that. You know, anytime you have a major 7, sharp 11, you play Lydian.
Oh. Okay.
Now, and that's probably going to be functioning as 4 in a key. But that doesn't really matter in terms of what you're going to actually do in that moment. What matters is that you've got this A flat, major 7, sharp 11, and you need to know the notes available to you are going to be in that position.
But at some point, you put into your brain A flat or flat 7 sharp 11 equals Lydian. You just know that.
Major 7 sharp 11 chords, yeah. You have to know what scales go with what chords.
Okay, got it.
Now, there's sometimes a degree of calculation that needs to happen there too. Because the problem with, now we're getting into application mode here. We're kind of getting away from, we're getting a little bit more advanced. Not in terms of what I want you to work on, but in terms of what we're thinking about here. Because we're still in vocabulary assimilation mode right now, right? We're talking about application mode now.
Yep.
All right, so if I have minor 7 chords, all right, if I just said, okay, if I went, that minor 7 chord there, how's that functioning? Because you have 3 minor 7 chords in a key. So if you see a minor 7 chord, it's either going to be Dorian, Phrygian, or Aeolian.
That's right.
Right? So if I give you this, which one do you use? Your answer should be, well, I don't know. You haven't given me enough information yet.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know. But
there's no way to know because a minor 7 chord sounds like a minor 7 chord.
Yeah.
But if I do this, now that sounds like 3 minor in relationship to what I just played. 1, 2, 3.
So that's Phrygian.
Right. It sounds like 3 minors. So in your ears, in that progression, or if you knew that you had these chords like this, you would know that that's 3 minor. Partially because I did an F major. I kind of went up the scale, harmonizing scale. I mean, it's kind of obvious there what that is just by what I played. But in relationship to this F, if I play this A minor, that sounds like 3 minor, as opposed to just a random minor out of the blue. So F major, major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 2 minor, Dorian, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1. Now 3 minor, if I play Dorian over that, 1, 2, 3, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat, it doesn't sound right, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And before I knew this, I would, people, when I was first getting started many years ago, people say, you got a minor 7 chord, play Dorian. Okay. Right? So then I was doing it. Well, what am I doing wrong? This doesn't sound right, Everybody else sounds good on there, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So I wasn't adjusting properly for the chord function. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Dorian. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1. 2 minor, right? When I get to 3 minor, I need to go 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. Now it sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
So, why do we learn modes? What is the reason for modes? Now, this is another revelation I had, and it kind of made me mad, to be honest with you, because I had up until that point really overrated modes in their importance. They're really very unimportant. They tell you one thing, and that's it. One simple little thing. It's going to make you mad, especially if you spend all this time practicing them. And you go, is that all? They tell you how to connect the chord tones properly. That's all they do to stay in key. That's all they do.
Yeah.
Because when I'm doing this Phrygian, that knowing that's 3 minor tells me to connect 1 in flat 3 with flat 2. 1, flat 2, flat 3. Then I connect flat 3 and 5 with 4. Flat 3, 4, 5. I connect 5 and flat 7 with flat 6. 5, flat 6, flat 7, and then back at 1. Yeah. That's all it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I didn't have to worry about that, I wouldn't have to practice the modes.
Yeah.
So when people say how you need to know your modes,
6 to play. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but think about why you need to know them.
Yeah.
And then that'll help you practice them in a much more efficient way, rather than like spend the years of time. I mean, I wasted years on this, Scott. Years of my life doing boxes, back-to-back boxes, and all the modes. Years. If I found a person that gave me this info, I'd probably beat the snot out of him.
I'm in the perfect state of ignorance.
I want those years
that.
back. I want those years back.
Yeah.
So you can waste a ton of time practicing stuff in a way that's not really important, just because somebody tells you to. I should be able to go back and sue.
That's awesome.
All right.
So
that's the only reason you practice modes, is to connect the chord tones properly, to stay in key when you're playing in a chord progression. That's
it's
it.
Really to know the right 2 and the right 6.
And 4, sometimes.
And 4 sometimes. Which is why descending sometimes, when I'm doing it, I'm playing the wrong 6 and I know it. When I'm doing a walking line or something, and I just find myself on the 6. And
walking lines. Yeah. Basically, you do that too, because I've found that if I'm playing a minor 7 chord functioning at 6.
Yeah.
Let's say an A minor. I'm gonna hit that flat 6. 1, flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, 2.
Yeah.
Now I might throw in an extra note to make the math come out right, so I put my chord tones on 1 and 3, but.
Yeah, you could play double chromatic or something, make it sound like you did it on purpose. At least from my perspective.
I can put it in different places. Like, if I go 1, A flat, I'll probably put it between the root and the flat 7. 1, A flat 7. No, I don't want that flat 6 on the down. 1, A flat. Yes, okay. 1, 2, 3. See, when you're playing quarter notes, the chord tones generally need to go on beats 1 and 3. So I want the 1, flat 3, 5, and flat 7 of that minor scale to pretty much land on beats 1 and 3 as much as I can. It doesn't mean they always have to do that, but you want them to do that more than they don't. Otherwise, it makes the harmony weak in what you're outlining in the line itself. So this is another important thing to always remember, is what makes a good line. Right? Musical line when you're playing. What makes a good line? Bass line, solo line, doesn't matter. What makes a good line from not such a good line? It's the player's ability to control note function numbers rhythmically. It technically comes down to that skill. It's what note function numbers go where in the rhythm. That's a key to that's the meaning of life in music.
That's probably something an obvious thing an expert would be able to tell a novice.
Well, actually, it's something I should have that should have been on page 1 of the Harmony and Theory book, the first sentence you read, because that makes everything else you study make sense and why you're studying it.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you what. I think they leave that out so that they can take up a bunch of time giving you a bunch of crap that you don't need, so they can make more money in school or something. I don't know.
Sure.
But that should be the first sentence. That should be the first thing you learn. You have to be able to control note function numbers in the rhythm. just like you control how your words fall out in a certain order when you talk to somebody. Otherwise, you wouldn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Music's a language. You got to treat it like one. So the way that works in music is what goes where in the rhythm.